Hello, everybody. We are back for Soul Sisters on the Casbah today. Yes. We're back. So, of course, exciting as always. Today, I will be joined by Brenda. Ooh, hello, Brenda. She's in here already. So, I'm just going to have her join in. And of course, we would be talking today about ways to better connect. I'm pretty sure some of you might have a few experiences or there are few ways you can probably relate, right? When it comes to, and even generally speaking, the workplace or the workspace, trying to connect with other people that you see as leaders or mentors. So yes. Oh, hi Brenda. Brenda, how can I today?
Hello. Hi.
All right, so we're on and we're going to be getting right into it now. All right, guys, so tune in, tune in.
Hi.
Smooth 98.1 of music, love and light. Yes, indeed, it is a wonderful Wednesday out here in Pacific Lagos. And yes, it is good to be back here for Soul Sisters this sweet Wednesday morning. I am Khadeejah, and as always, it is a great pleasure to be here with you on the show today. Of course, at Soul Sisters, we are talking about women, ladies. And of course, we're talking about the sheroes. Kind of like that term, sheroes, right? It's pretty cool. I will not be doing this alone today on the show, guys. I've got with me Brenda Unu, the very delectable Brenda Unu, our superstar
Hi.
architect lady. How are you, Brenda?
Hi. Hi, Khadija. Great to be here today.
All right. It is so good to have you join us on the show. It's always a great delight to have you on as well. All right. So, yes, as always, you can definitely go watch us live on Instagram. We are actually live. Just search for Smooth981 on Instagram. There you can find that we're live. You can also interact with us as we go live on Instagram as well. You can send WhatsApp messages as well. 0809 44091. And do not forget, you can always contact us live through the website www.smooth981.fm. Pretty sure for those of you following on our socials, you've probably seen our topic for today. And today we will be talking about ways to better connect with other women in the workplace. Now, of course, just before I got on air, I was actually trying to say hello to people at Instagram Live, and I was talking about how, relationships in the workplace can be a little bit tricky sometimes, not just for the ladies, actually, even for the
Mm.
men, sometimes. But you know how men are. I don't know, I feel like men tend to be better at relationships. Not, I mean, between themselves when you look at
Yeah.
friendships and how they can be
Mm-hmm.
cordial with one another. I remember seeing somebody tweet about how a guy could probably be passing on the streets. He's greeting some other guy that he's probably not met in his life, and they're like, hey, Chief Papa, Chairman, what's up? And you're thinking, oh, maybe they know each other,
Absolutely.
and they do not know each other. But it could be the ladies, and they're like just, giving themselves like you're probably never looking at the next, or something. I don't know. So it can be quite tedious. And considering how, we tend to talk about how, leadership, women being in leadership positions, women having to have mentors. We're talking about women, being trained and all of that. We need connections to make all of these things work and to make all of these things happen, right?
Sorry, give
So,
me a minute. I think my network is.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. So while we try to sort out what's going on with your network on Instagram, we will still be taking your thoughts and your opinions on this one. So basically, we are looking at ways to improve or, yeah, basically trying to improve your relationship with other women in the workplace and how tedious it can be. So, Brenda, I mean, you've had some experience in the workforce, you've taken a
Mm-hmm.
break, and then you've also come back into that space as well.
Yeah.
Is this something you can relate?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the first part of my work life was with men, a lot of men, because as you can imagine, I was in an architectural firm, and it's mainly in male space. The women are few and far between, and so it was easier for us to bond because it was almost like we against them. So that was my
Oh,
first
okay.
experience. That was my first experience with working with women. But in this new role that I have now, it's more of it's a group of companies. So we have finance people, we have lawyers, we really have, and in fact, my office has a lot of women. So
Nice.
we didn't realize until recently we were taking a group picture. We're like, what's going on here? We should celebrate. So we have a lot of women in the office, and so this is a topic I can actually relate to. And I'd say that for me, how I went about it is I think it's easy to make relationship with women if you're deliberate. Sometimes men look at each other. You know how we always give each other side eye. You're sizing the next person up. What's she feeling like? She's wearing designers and so what. That's just the normal woman thinking. But if you want to be in an office with somebody and you want to really develop a relationship, I think the first way is compliment. Everybody loves compliments. And so please distinguish compliments from flattery, right? Find something that you can actually compliment. You don't have to lie. Oh, I like your hair. Oh, that's a nice dress. Oh, I like your glasses. Where did you get it? Oh, I like your shoes. Oh, nice. Just compliment and keep it light. Don't make it personal, but keep it light, keep it airy, and keep it cheerful. Always greet with a smile. And if you have a group, a company WhatsApp group or company internet or wherever you guys can relate off the job, try to be lively, try to be cheerful. Wish each other happy birthday on their birthdays. Bring a little gift. It could be a pair of earrings. It could be a small book. Whatever it is, just make the effort. And you know what? We spend most of our time in the office anyway. It would be easy to build deep relationships. I mean, in my office the other day, I was trying to get passport for my son. I'd been stressing about it and told everybody that I knew. And it was one of my colleagues. She was buying fuel, and she heard of a guy that was working in passport office and took his number. Like, oh, Brenda has this issue. I need to solve it. And you can imagine I've only been here 2 years. So obviously there's something, I have impressed on her that would make her go the extra mile for me. And which is why I think if we're deliberate about, giving to people as you would treat people as you would like to be treated, compliment people, be nice to people. And honestly, people, we are built for community. The world, human beings are built for community. So you would be happier relating to people than being on your own. Honestly, I mean, maybe it's easy for me. I don't know, but these are the tips I've been using.
All right. Quality and pretty good tips because I would say the thing about compliments, I also got to learn at a very early stage of my professional life as well. About having to compliment even the guys, complimenting the guys and complimenting the ladies. The
Mm,
ladies love it. Look, if you're looking for the key or one
yeah,
of the keys, the major keys, compliments. Trust me, it works.
absolutely. It works
Absolutely
like a
works. So
charm.
you are spot on with that tip actually. Absolutely spot on. And as you mentioned, there's really no need to be so extra about it or off, right? Because even the person
Hmm.
you're trying to compliment, they get vibes. They can tell when this person is just being unnecessary or the person is just being extra
Yes.
or the person is just being. So yeah, try to be
Mhm.
honest about it. Look for something that can actually compliment like it. Oh, those really good things.
Absolutely.
That was a really good tip, especially for the people who are now, going into the workforce, so you don't really feel too intimidated and even trying to approach people in the first place as well. So yes, today guys, in case you're just joining us, especially for those of you on Instagram, today we are discussing ways to improve relationships with other women in the professional space, right? That is what we're talking about today. And I'm joined by Brenda Unu on the show today as well. Of course, quickly before we go on our first break for today on the show, I was actually even going to touch on the fact that, as you mentioned, um, it's not easy to try to stand alone or as an island when you're in the workplace. But some people may ask that is it even really necessary? Do I really need to bond with other women? in the workplace. I
Oh,
mean, we're in a space where we're saying that, hey, we don't want a situation where we're just being considered for roles because we're women, because women are fighting for women, and the likes. So some people may
mm,
even wonder and ask, like, is it absolutely necessary I bond with the women? What if it's the guys who are okay and cool with me, and women seems to have an issue with me? You know, instances or scenarios or issues like that. We're going to go on our first break for today. For 1 10 Brenda, we're going to be touching on
okay.
that, right? It's a
No
short
problem.
break.
No problem.
Don't touch your dial. We'll be right back.
Capex Savers Plus. Capex Savers Plus is a flexible savings and investment plan that's easy to achieve. Start by putting money aside into an investment account and watch it grow while you also enjoy a life coach. We believe there's greatness in everyone. Activate the greatness in you with Capex Savers Plus from Capital Express Assurance Limited. For more information, please visit www.capex.ng or call us 0700 Capex Assure. That is 0700 22739 27787. Capital Express Assurance Limited. With you in life and beyond. When it comes to living life, man, I can't keep myself. I like it fresh, like streaming only the latest blockbuster, eating only fresh food. And when I want to refresh, trust me to only do peak yogurt drink. That's right. Just refresh with Peak Yogurt Drink, which contains fresh cow milk. Peak Yogurt Drink is filled with essential vitamins and minerals. Peak, rich for your peak. My name na Lagos. Now maybe Dr. Patch for all TNT money with my sellotape Paris of late. Anybody will get money when need life support from my yard. Now my domot can talk, but from now I don't retire from my patch work because of Momo Payment Service Bank. The new way to send and receive money way better pass cash. Say bye-bye to TNT money palava. Just dial *671# to open your Momo wallet today. The simple way to send and receive money to any phone number for free. Life is simpler because Momo is better than cash. You don't wait for life.
I'm actually going through some of the WhatsApp messages I got. I think after we treat our first
with the stimulating aroma and
subject,
creamy taste
we would try to touch on some WhatsApp messages as well.
Okay.
For every 8 sachets
We're almost there.
this month, you get 1 sachet.
Gotta pay the bills.
Free. Start strong, finish strong. It all starts with
All right.
an Nescafe. T's and C's apply. Funky Fly. Silky Smooth. 98.1.
It's a day so tiny, and you are listening to Smooth 98.1.
Smooth 98.1 of music, love life. We're still here this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. And guess what? It is Soul Sisters you are listening to right now on Smooth. I am Khadeejah, and today I am joined by Brenda. Today we're talking about ways to better connect with other women in the workspace or the professional life, really, right? And of course, this entails a lot connecting with other women, networking, and so much more. So just before the break, I asked the question about how some people can feel as though, is it really necessary for me to really put in the work and try to exactly, is it really that impactful? Like, do I have to?
Well, I'll say yes. It's absolutely important, and you don't want to come off across as a snob, or someone that is proud, and because people are like, who is she and why does she think she's better than us? Why doesn't she want to talk to us? That's the vibe that you may be given just because you think, oh, do I have to talk to these women? And also, there are many benefits. For example, if you're just starting out your career, you may say, you need a mentor, and you may say, oh, I found a mentor in a man. But guess what? The man does not have the challenges that you would have. The life of a woman is different from the life of a man. In that career, you'll be better off working
All
with
right,
her
you
as a
seem to
mentor
have
because
lost
you have the
Brenda a
challenges that you
little
have.
in there. You may need to, backtrack a little bit, at the point where you were just talking about how the life of a man is different and the experiences of a man is quite different from that of a woman.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
great. Okay, so like I said, the life of a man is different from the life of a woman. I mean, if you find a woman that has achieved success in your career, and maybe she's married and has children, and that is the life you're just starting. You're just getting married, and you're starting the career. You don't know how a man cannot help you with the real issues that you would deal with, right? If you're talking to the man, he would help you with the career. He would tell you, okay, this is how you to show up at work. This is how to make sure you're noticed. But the woman has a different view. She'll be able to share with you how she succeeded juggling career and work, how she succeeded with childcare, how she succeeded with, dealing with the husband at the home and all of those things. So you'd have a 360 view when you're being mentored by a woman in the same field as you, as versus a man. So which is why I said it is important. Secondly, you need women, you need people anyway as sponsors. And if you can get into a relationship with a woman in terms of you've found favor with her, and she's sitting at the board table and it's time for them to talk about promotion. Hello, it's human beings that are going to speak for you, right? And so what do you even know if your company has a quota for women, and they'll say, okay, in every promotion we must have 2 women, or no, or there's no quota, and so nobody is going to look for you to put you in. But if this woman has a relationship with you and sees the work that you do, can speak up for you. Because at the end of the day, people are the ones who make the recommendations for posts. No matter how good your work is, if you don't have any relationship with any human being, you may be stalled on one spot for a bit. And it's the gospel truth. It happens all over the world. It's not a Nigerian thing. So relationships are important, and you have to invest in them. You cannot just wish them to happen. It doesn't just happen, right? So you have to invest in them. How do you invest in them? Bring a little something for somebody when it's their birthday. Give a good compliment. Help out in ways that you can. Somebody came to work and you saw that she didn't have food and you wanted to order food, and you're like, you didn't bring food today. I'm ordering food. Do you like to have some? Simple courtesies like that. It doesn't take anything out of you, right? You're not paying for the food. You're just helping her to order, right? So there are many ways you can find to really engage with people outside of work. Or if somebody has to do something, she's not there, there's a meeting, you find that she's not there, you can call her on the side or send a quick chat. You're missing from this meeting. Where are you? Just little bits and pieces of care in that manner endear you to people. And really, you cannot overemphasize the importance of these relationships. They just help you across the board.
All right. So how about situations where you're actually putting in all of these efforts, and then you find that, when people, as you mentioned, when they're ill, put a cold, it's their birthday, wish them happy birthday, put in the effort, but it's not being reciprocated.
Ah, wow. Well, that happens. To be honest, that happens. Even in marriage, sometimes you're giving and giving and giving, and your partner is not reciprocating. It does happen. But what are we called to do? We're called to be like Christ, right? We're called to be the light of the world. So you will not dim your light because of another person's response. You will not let people change you because of the way that they are. So you will continue to give the light. You continue to do what you can. Continue to be good as you are. And one day, the seeds will germinate. One day, it will show up in a place that you don't even expect. Because at the end of the day, it's a motive for which you're doing this. Are you being nice to people because of what you will get from them, or are you being nice to people because that's what you've been called to do as a Christian or as a believer? So these are the things that will help you, receive that kind of rejection, unquote. Are you doing it for something? Because when you're doing something for something, when it's not being reciprocated, you feel bad, like, look at these people, But if you're doing it from your very nature, because this is how I am, I'm a good person and I want to be good to people, right? Then it wouldn't matter if they respond or not. And your reward is always ahead. always, always.
Yeah, well, it also brings me to two things. First is, at the end of the day, often in the professional space, it's not everyone who's going in there to find a friend. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the process of, you know, putting effort into certain things or in certain ways or in certain aspects, feelings may be hurt. Say you have you get into a job as a new recruiter, for instance, and then you have a
Okay.
lady who's been in such position for a while, you get close, this person begins to mentor you and the whole process. And you know um for some reason, people tend to take relationships, perhaps we can say some people don't know how to separate work relationships and
Mm,
personal, friendships, really.
right.
So one party might feel hurt, like, oh, I thought we were friends, right? In such
Mm-hmm.
situations, it could be the mentor, it could be the mentee. When certain things
Mm,
happen, or when certain decisions are made, or when certain steps are taken as well. And at the end of the
mm,
day, for most people in the office or professional space, they're thinking, well, all of these steps I'm taking are, in order to um, climb the ladder, get to the next
mm.
level, improve myself at the end of the day. So how do you try to draw the line between, okay, personal friendships and, professional relationships without stepping on toes or hurting anyone's feelings?
Okay, I think you just have to take the cue from the other person, right? Because you may be saying that you want a personal friendship and the person doesn't want one. So take the cue. We have to be sensitive. When you're trying to be, trying to do something like outside of work, you're saying, come, let's go to lunch together. You're saying, oh, what are we doing this weekend? And the person is not responding. You take the cue. I know that, okay, this person doesn't want a relationship with me outside of work. And you keep it professional. Keep it to what you're doing in the office. But if you find the person is one inviting you to say, oh, let's go for what are you doing this weekend? Have this party. Can we go together? Or you know what I have this children's party. Bring your children or whatever it is. If you find somebody consistently inviting you to stuff outside of work, you know that this person wants a friendship. So I think you just take the cue from the person. If you try and you get rebuffed, no hard feelings. Just step back, right? Just step back, and it is what it is. In the professional space, to get ahead, the truth of the matter is that it is maybe 80% work and 20% relationships. So don't put the relationships ahead of doing good work because good work cannot be ignored. Your excellent work can never be ignored. So in as much as you need the 20% of the relationships to help you push it up a bit, don't put the relationships ahead of the good work. If you're not doing a good work and you have a relationship with everybody loves you. When it's time to lay off some stuff, like, Brenda is a nice girl, but no, she's not affecting the bottom line of the company, right? So as much as they like you, as much as they will hate to see you go, when the crunch is down, you really want to go. So always remember this, that in the professional space, the work is 80%. The relationships, though important, are just 20.
All right. So I'm going to thank you for actually, helping to break that down a bit because, at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer in your work speaking for itself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, it really depends on the situation, the circumstance that you may find yourself. As mentioned earlier, sometimes all of the forces just be against you for some weird reason, and you're thinking, what is going on? And in some instances, I think that's where, in some cases, toxic environments come in and non-toxic environments having to deal with toxic and non-toxic traits. And I believe that's a whole topic we're going to be treating entirely
an,
on
ent-
its
an
own.
entire
Because
one.
I actually have a message in here by Tosin. Just sent a message on WhatsApp saying, well, for me, I feel we need to tackle the issues of women being the downfall of other women in the workplace. Some women do not want other women to go to the workplace or get to certain positions they have attained.
Mm,
And Tosin here
mm,
talks about how a female senior staff she worked under during her years in the 9 to 5 was so horrible to other females in the office. And she could also recall a time where she once told Tosin that she could never be head of a team, no matter how hard she tried. And of
oh,
course,
wow.
Tosan here says that the lady in question did feel intimidated by all the other women. She was always eager to write queries against other women. Because of the woman, Tosin actually missed 2 professional exams. She didn't sign Tosin's letter to leave the office for 2 days. Tosin had to request permission for 3 months before the exams. but the lady in question lied to the chief operating officer at the time that Tosan only gave notice few days before. But luckily for Tosan, she was transferred. The lady in question was transferred, and within months, Tosan was able to achieve her goal of becoming head of admin. So women need to start supporting each other in the workplace, whether in the 9 to 5 or business, leadership, or in politics. And that was sent in by Tosan. Thank you so much for sharing that experience. That sounds a bit, oh, sorry, not a bit, quite toxic, actually.
It is.
It does.
And the issue of, horrid women bosses is a thing. It is a thing.
All right. So we're gonna go on another quick break now. I see that I have another message that we will be checking out when we return from this break. So yes, please stay with us. Remember, it is Soul Sisters on the Casbah. I am Khadeejah. I'm joined by Brenda Unu, and today we are talking about ways to better connect with other women in the professional space. Stay with us.
What we're going to do right now is take you way back into time. Way back.
Oh, you can't hear her. No, really? Oh, that's I have my assistant here with me. Okay, so after this quick break, we would take some messages because we ought to be done by 11:30. So we try to see or take as much as we can before we wrap things up the show today. I kind of feel like often when we have these topics, it's so hard to round them up in such a short period. But we'll try the best we can. And if we need to bring these topics back, we would probably try to do that as well. Right? Okay. So yes, we're definitely going to do that. Sorry, I'm just trying to see some of the messages I have in here. Okay, actually, I have somebody sharing some tips here with us, so I guess we'll probably take that as well.
Start strong, finish strong. It all starts with an Nescafe. T's and C's apply.
Oh, 11:30.
Yes. So Victor wants to be a part of Soul Sisters.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Victor wants to come and say hi.
Hello.
Hi, Victor.
Hi, Victor.
No. Yeah, don't worry. The news is good. Yeah, the news is good. Okay, so we have one more to go and then we'll come back on air. Patrick.
Patrick is my in-law. They don't play. They don't play.
Don't worry, Patrick. Brenda is safe. Brenda is safe. She's a good hand. Okay, we're back.
Okay. Okay.
Smooth 98.1 of music, love of life. Yes, indeed, we are back. Soul Sisters still right here on the Casbah. Actually, did I just say Casbah? Well, the Casbah's coming up later, actually. Well, you know. We're gonna be fucking Casbah real soon, but right now it's time for Soul Sisters on Smooth. I've got with me Brenda Unu, and so far we've been talking about ways to better connect with other women in the professional space, right? I actually got another message in by Oluwakemi, who happens to have few tips here and there for us. And Oluwakemi says, for me, women need to connect more and network more. Women need to do away with pride, especially women who are in higher positions in an organization, and they need to stop seeing other women as competition. Women are already in competition with the men, especially for senior management positions in organizations. And Oluwakemi further says we should help our fellow women to grow, especially in career and business. Create better relationships with other women in the field. Care more as well. Don't see your fellow woman as inferior to you, even if you're in a higher position and pay grade. And she actually went on to describe a scenario where she had a friend who worked in an HR firm, and it was actually her boss, who was a lady, who advised her to take certain examinations in order to grow in the field. This boss apparently even, went as far as going the extra mile to show her examinations, recommend examinations she could take, and so on. And her friend actually is the head of an HR company abroad. So
Wow.
if not for this particular boss that she was blessed to have at that point in her life. So yeah, I mean, we definitely need more of that. Women leaders, in any space or any sphere, really need to do more, in order to
Bring
lift,
others up.
yes, and lift the other women in the process as well. Um, that's actually, we do have plans to discuss that, because hopefully sometime soon we will get to talk about sharing the spotlight with other women. That's
Hmm.
kind of like under that as well. You finally got into the top spotlight to shining on you.
Mm.
Do we really find that a lot of women are actually willing to share the spotlight, or even willing to shine that light on others coming after them as well? So these are all of the
Right.
things that we definitely need to look into and consider. Well, Brenda, quickly, just for us to wrap this up quickly, I have a feeling we'll be bringing this topic up again sometime soon. But just for us to
Right.
wrap this up quickly at this time, what are your final words or your final advice for women in this regard?
So my final advice is this. I mean, as a woman, wherever you find yourself, whether as a young employee or as a woman leader, wherever you find yourself, be open to making relationships with other people. See people as God would see them. See people for who they are, and not necessarily the role that they play. And if you look at people critically and open your eyes and you look at people, you'll find something to like about everybody. God has made everybody and deposited a gift in each person. So if you look well, you'll find something that you can appreciate and something you can even learn from the person. So that way you can build your relationships based on one thing. There's always something to talk about. There's always something to learn from each other. And really, let's just leave pride out of it. And these women supporting women, it has to become a thing. We have to be intentional about
We
it
need
and
to
help
see the
people.
actions.
We have to.
I feel like there's always so many seminars and so many events and so
Mm,
many occasions, but are women actually acting
actually doing it.
towards it? Are we actually making those recommendations and saying, oh, I know a lady who does this, or I know a lady who's in charge of that, or, even
Mm,
at the time where they're even coming up with all of these events. Oh, okay, so this woman, she does this, she's good
mm,
at this, she can support us in this regard. You know,
mm.
things like that. Are we actually acting, or are we still in that phase where we're just talking about it, right?
We have to act more.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Brenda. It is always a pleasure talking to you. And of course, looking forward to being here with you again next week.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much,
And
Brenda.
thanks to everyone that joined the program online, WhatsApp, Instagram. We see you all. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned something today. Bye
Yes,
bye.
indeed.
See
We
you next
all
time.
have. We all have. Thank you so much, Brenda. I wouldn't take too much of your time anymore. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
And you
Well,
too. Cheers.
there you have it for today. Soul Sisters today. Well, I'm pretty sure you can definitely find our post up on Instagram. There we can also keep the conversation going. Yes, you can also continue WhatsApp as well, or and on Twitter. But of course, we should be able to have this up on our YouTube page as well later on for those of you who may feel as though you have missed some part of the show. Not to worry, we've got you covered. And you can always catch a recap of the show on Instagram as well. In the meantime, it's back to some more great music right here on Spook. We'll listen to something by the Isley Brothers. We've got some Eric Robertson, and much more. So please stick around. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, everybody. Patrick, we see you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So, hey, remember, you can definitely catch a recap on Instagram later. And we would definitely try to get this on YouTube as well. And you can catch us again next week. Like Bye.